Hi everyone, it's Matt and Deb. This is going to be our first cook. I'm so sorry, we've had quite a few technical glitches in regards to the iPad and the iPhone won't live stream at the moment. I'm still trying to work out that. I think it's got to do with the update.
Good news is that it makes us both work. So a good bit of technology.
So today we decided to do a cook all about New Year's and some ideas for snacks, I guess, or things to take to people's houses if you're getting together.
I mean, we're aware, like after the festive season, I mean, a lot of people might have been cooked out by now, and whatever, and you might just be wanting to just go down the shop and just grab some, prepackaged sort of stuff in, and it's convenient and all very, very well. But we're trying to just show whether you use it for this New Year's or whether you use it just for another special occasion. Just some things that I guess a new take on some some old classics.
Or not just going, to me, it's about having a point of difference. So often people go with the same type of dips or the same type of snacks to people's houses, and you're getting lots of double ups, especially if you're going for group gatherings. The other thing too is it's all to do with actually some of the items with news you would have leftovers, perhaps, and how to use those leftovers as well.
And still bring that wow factor when you socialise.
And the other thing that we're going to demonstrate with these dishes is the fact that adults only. And what I mean by that is we're targeting more to adult kind of snacks. Often when snacks are put out, when snacks are normally put out, I've been to many events where the kids hoe into it before even adults get a look in. So they may think twice. They might actually enjoy it. Our kids have got a fairly gourmet palate anyway, but for others, they just want the whole unhealthy snacks.
They're the ones that you provide the pre-packaged, just those convenient snacks for. But these are a bit of sophistication.
Now, this first recipe Matt's going to do. This time last year, I think was your first week. You did it for Christmas Day. We went to someone's house.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did.
And it was a huge success.
Yeah, it was all right. I must confess, I haven't made it since.
But you're excited.
I am excited because I'm obviously making it again. Some of the actual ingredients themselves are a little bit different to the ones I'll be a little bit different. Because I think, for example, I'm using raw sugar this time. I think last time I might have used coconut sugar.
And we've run out of coconut sugar. We need to do our bulk order.
It's one of those things. And I believe that last time I was promoting it was more of a craft beer for this particular, for these peanut clusters. But I'm just using, it's still a local beer. It's still a South Australian beer, but probably something that more people might have on
and like you would already be getting your drinks if you have drinks for New Year's, or you've got leftover drinks that people have brought over. Yes.
Really?
Anyway, all right, take it away, Matt. Sorry everyone, I'm just going to try and juggle this. Like I said, we've had a few technical glitches with our phone, and my phone's doing a backup. So now I'm going to.
Well, while you're playing with that, I'm just going to get the recipe up.
Oh, no, anyway. Sorry everyone.
You have fun
this is our lovely crazy channel here. Maybe that's a bit better for you. No, I can't see you. There we go. So are you going to tell people what it's called? And
yeah, it's called my computer is just waiting to log in.
Okay. Did you not save it, Matt?
So I didn't save it. It's okay. It's fine. So but what I've just done is I've just done what's called done the search function. So if you've got a few ingredients and you think, well, what can I actually do? What can I make out of this? I've just typed in chili and peanuts, and it's come up with the recipe that I want anyway, which is the beer and chili peanut clusters. So there we are. But what Deb was saying is that you can actually save it, obviously, to your that you want to cook for today. So I've got my oven preheated to 180 degrees.
Do you want to show them the picture too?
Of what? Well,
The clusters.
The clusters.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
So come on, you want to see? No. Oh, you just had to go in there.
Okay, so that's. I'm not sure if people can actually see that. It looks like a blob.
See here
in the background. So yeah, these beer and chili peanut clusters. So you think of like your, I guess like a bit of a fancy praline, like a savoury praline. Deb said before, it's like this is an adults only.
And why did we think that more so it's an adults only? There's an ingredient.
Well, there's a couple of ingredients involved. One of course is the beer involved, which I know the alcohol will be cooked out of it, but just the actual flavour of the beer is going to be more of an acquired palate. Hopefully more for adults rather than young people. Anyway, we're also using chili in it as well. Now, if you're not a chili lover, you could use other spices as well. You could probably play around with things like paprika or maybe a little bit of turmeric or a combination of those, or even just some other different spices, even some dried herbs if you didn't want the chili factor. But this is just a basis, and you can just play with it as you wish and whatever ingredients you've got on hand. So here we go. I preheated the oven to 180 degrees. That's what the first instruction says. Already doing that. Line a baking tray with baking paper. Now we're using, not that we're plugging anything, but we're just using these Ag Green silicone baking sheets, which you can use over and over again. You can actually cut these down to size. Obviously, you can't put them back together again, but they're good for food wraps. We use them to cover onion and put into the fridge, or just cover a bit of fruit. We've got some leftover fruit from Christmas, which we're wrapped up in these, and just and chucked in the fridge. In fact, everybody's going on about single-use plastics. This is a multi-use, which is absolutely brilliant. So 130 grams of raw sugar. Now I've got raw sugar here. I've actually got 100 grams, just because I'm just trying to cut back a bit on the sugar. So, as I said last time we used this, we used coconut sugar, which is again, you wouldn't have to use 130 grams of
you can
sugar.
probably use even 60 or 80.
Could use 60 or 80. It depends on how sweet you want it. I'm sort of wanting to go more the savoury side of things. So the sugary here is just to sort of balance it out a bit.
How about we bring it even back to 80?
The sweet and the salt and the sugar. Well, we'll see how we go. So here we go. So here it goes in.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. 85 is always good. And we'll just keep that over there for sprinkling your breakfast. Not to advocate that either.
Well, we don't.
Insert measuring cup. I don't know about you, but the recipes always assume that you're going to have it with the lid on. I never actually put the lid on. I always have to, I guess, double handle a bit. Put the lid back on.
It tells you to put the lid on.
Insert the measuring cup. That's
and you're
right.
just telling people about it.
Yeah. So I put the that's the lid. That's the MC. That's what I'm talking about. That's the MC. That's what I'm talking about. So so we've got the MC in there, because what we're going to do is we're going to now grind this down, or mill this sugar rather, into powder.
This would have to be the first thing they demonstrated 12 years ago of milling sugar.
Yeah, because you're going to make your sorbet pretty green. Make sure your bowl's dry. If your bowl's wet, ain't too good. All right.
Right, let's show everyone how good the oohs and ahs. Look at that. I know.
Need to scrape down the sides of the bowl.
Let's show people the bowl.
All right, so the bowl's not actually on fire. That's just the caster sugar coming out as a fine powder. Well, now it is.
Now, if you wanted to have it as pure icing sugar, mill that 10 times.
10 times?
Yeah, and it will go to pure icing sugar.
Oh, so you repeat
and
that.
then I would actually put it through like a sift, like a sifter, or what's that? What do you call those things? A sift.
Yeah. So scrape down the sides of the bowl there, just to make sure all the sugar's on the bottom. Now this is where it says 100 grams of beer. Now it's not quite 12 yet, so I can't actually bring the rest of this, which is a shame. It's 100 grams. All right. That's going to go back in the fridge for a little bit later on. And the simmering basket. So instead of using the MC, because we're going to be cooking this, the simmering basket, because the temperature is going to be going over 100 degrees, simmering basket on top. It's going up to Varoma. So this is going to be on 5 minutes on Varoma, and then to speed 2. Just in case I wasn't clear about the actual title of the recipe, these are beer and chili peanut clusters.
Right, now we're going to go over to our other Thermomix. I'm going to take you across. Okay, and in this, I'm going to cook a couple of things. If I get my stand is a bit wonky. Okay, now I wanted to do first a dip. Who doesn't like taking dips to festive occasions? They're not only a really quick, easy and cheap and a way to use up a lot of things that you've got in your pantry or whatever. They're quite filling and healthy type of snack as well. But often when we go, a lot of people, especially if you're new to Thermi, you know, the sun-dried and cashew dip and dough, people do over and over. So normally when you go places, you will often get the same style or hummus. And so I wanted to look for a point of difference, something that's going to have people talking, and something that I could do to use up some items that I may not, I may have left over from the Christmas cook, or something that's a pantry staple. So there was a recipe called skillet Reuben dip. Now this person has created this. It's not an actual cookie dough recipe, sadly. But what I'll do is I'll actually put it in my created recipes on the forum as well. So if you happen to really like the sound of this, you will be able to do it. Now, I'm even adapting beyond adapting in the fact that I'm Mother Hubbard and I'm like going, oh, I've only got a bit of this left. I've only got a bit of that left. But if you were to make this recipe yourself, you'll have the actual ingredients and the recommended replacements for some of the items. Because remember, here at Food Debate and Sustainable Solutions, we're dairy free. So we always have to make things like that. Now, first thing, it actually, because it's based on the traditional Reuben sandwich, which is a very, it's an American thing, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
So they love their Reuben sandwiches. So the person's kind of adapted it onto that. Now, it does tell you to toast some bread and make it into like crudies, or I don't even know if that's the right word, to kind of dip into the dip. Oh, my voice. But what I'm going to do, because we want to serve it with crackers, I'm actually crumb first to actually go on top as a serving and to give it the texture afterwards. So, oh, my throat. Yeah, probably. I'm going a bit hoarse. It's probably yelling at my kids too much already at the start of Christmas. Okay, so we've got some thyme here. I'm just putting that in, and you could just put whatever bread you've got. We've got some gluten-free, so I'm just using one gluten-free crust because I'm only making a small amount of this.
Right, is a good one.
And I'm actually going to be putting like a handful of almonds. Just, you don't need to, especially if you want it nut-free. Oh gosh, that beer, it smells.
Right.
You can tell I'm not a beer lover. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. I just put that on speed 9 for 5 seconds. And while we're going, all I'm going to do, that must have got stuck. Let's do that. A piece of bread wedged. My perfumer's nose is not coping with that smell. So there we go. We've got them all here. We just put it in here like this. And we don't even need to clean the bowl, because if you watch our TMX Sustainable Solutions page, I always like to just keep reusing where possible. I've just crushed the garlic but not peeled it, so I'll be easy to take it out, is just to infuse it there. And I'll put a bit of salt and a bit of oil. That should do. And we will be toasting that on the stovetop. Next thing I want to do is I want to just mill my hard cheese. Yes, I said we're dairy free, but this is a sheep's cheese, and every now and then we like to have a little bit of sheep's cheese because the protein is very different in sheep's cheese compared to cows. Okay, so that's that. And I'll just tip it into this bowl that'll be used later. And now what we're going to do is add the main, which is pastrami. You could use corned beef or you could use roast beef. So, or even if you didn't want beef, you could use probably chicken if you wanted to. But I'm just putting that in here. So whatever, maybe even leftover ham you could do as a replacement from your Christmas dinner. Okay, now I'm going to chop that up first. We're doing it like munch, so I'm going to go on 4. Yeah, see, that's enough. And just spread down the sides. And then what I wanted was some cream cheese. I don't actually own cream cheese. Making vegan cream cheese is very similar to making sour cheese, sour cream. So I'm actually basically using my leftover sour cream recipe, which is this cashew sour cream one on cookie dough. So I'm just using that.
And that was what you used last night for dinner, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had that for our Buddha bowl. So I'm kind of using it now because I felt like this recipe also called for mayonnaise. Now, I only made this mayonnaise yesterday. My kids love my vegan mayonnaise so much that someone actually has gone in with a spoon during the day and eating it, because I can tell you now it had more than this. So I thought, what can I do? I don't want to make up a whole new mayonnaise. And actually, like Matt said, it's Thousand Island dressing that is so based upon what I did for Christmas. If you'd seen my post, I actually made prawn cocktail with gin cucumbers or something like that. So anyway, I used the basis of the prawn cocktail sauce, which is similar to Thousand Island dressing. So I know I should be measuring, but because it's not the right quantities, I'm just cheekily putting the things that I know that go into, which is tomato sauce, a bit of paprika, it says Worcestershire sauce. I don't have Worcestershire, so I'm using a little bit of tamari. It's just for that umami, saltiness. Just stir that around, and we might need a bit of. Already got vinegar in the mayonnaise, so I wouldn't need to necessarily use that. Right, that's my cheats using up and turning it into Thousand Island dressing.
That's incredible.
All right, put that in. And like I said, I don't feel like I've got enough. So I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of coconut yogurt. I wouldn't use coconut cream. I just don't think it's the right texture. I'm just stirring that around so waste not and get every bit of that flavour coming through.
We're just watching you cook there, Dan. I'm just like, look, you know, we looked at that recipe, and some of those things you might have to go out and physically buy. But you just shown that you can use what you've got is just play around with it, add bits and pieces to it. So you don't end up with then something that you bought for one cook, and then it stays in your pantry or your cupboard or your fridge for 6 months until it expires. Yeah. So you're actually it's smart cooking, and in these times, I mean, this time of year can be a little bit hard for people. Your budget's a little bit down. The budget's, you know, not exactly that crash on it anyway. So this is showing you that just like stop and think outside the square. That think outside the square. So you're being smart.
So how are you going? What have you done now?
Yeah. So what I've done, I'll just very quickly tell you what I've done so far. So I've milled the sugar. And then that's been mixed up with the peanuts. So that's done a cook. Then the cook tells you to stop, and then you scrape down the sides.
You added the peanuts because they only saw you add the sugar
and the beer. So I cooked down the beer, so reduce the alcohol. Then added the peanuts. The recipe calls for raw unsalted peanuts. I use roasted unsalted peanuts just because I like that roasted flavour. But you don't have to use peanuts if you've got a peanut allergy. And let's face it, a lot of people, when you're going for a social occasion, a lot of people can have that peanut allergy. But if you know that other nuts are safe,
or chickpeas,
or you could use chickpeas. Like if you had dry roasted chickpeas, you could do that as well. Be very similar. Even seeds, if you wanted to, like you could use sunflower seeds mixed with sunflower pepitas, other things like that in place of the peanuts or the nuts.
Yeah. Okay, so don't tip it out until we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just how to cook, and it's just cooking.
Okay. Sorry, we're flipping. We were hoping to have 2 screens, but we're not at the moment. Okay, so you saw that I put my sour cream, which will be in place of cream cheese. I put a bit of yogurt, put the Thousand Island dressing that I made, put in the milled cheese. Now, if you cannot have cheese, that is okay. If you can't occasionally even have sheep's cheese like I do, I would definitely just do your seeded cheese or your nutritional flakes to give it that cheesy component. And the last ingredient is adding some sauerkraut. Now, we've actually got beetroot sauerkraut, but any type of sauerkraut will do the trick. Now, oh, that's the wrong one. Just about to burn my pots. Okay. All we do give that a quick blend. My screen is jumping all over. Oh, look at that. It's pink. It's pink. People are going to be in for a surprise with this one. So what I've done, I've got these nice little terracotta pots, because what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to, and like I said, I didn't even do the full recipe. I probably would have done half, if not, a third. So Americans like to do big platters of their dips. And it depends on how many people you've got coming over too. So let me just do that. Matt, do you want to just stir that fry pan for me?
Yep. Say what I had. I didn't. Yeah, had the breadcrumbs of the garlic.
Yeah. Thanks for me.
So, yeah.
So
I was going to quickly just jump in while it starts.
No. Oh, yeah, yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay, cool.
Wait, I'll bring it over there. Okay, so there we have our 2 pots, and then as soon as the breadcrumbs are toasted, I'm going to put them in the oven first and then top them with the toasted breadcrumbs. So I'm just going to take you over to Matt. Matt. There you go, Matt.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So, so finish cooking off the peanuts in the beer and sugar mixture. So I've got a nice sort of thick sort of syrup happening there at the bottom of the bowl, which I'll show you when I spread it out later. I'm just coming up to the part of the recipe where it says to add in the chili flakes and some salt. Now, as I said, if you don't want to use chili, you can use other herbs and spices, whatever your tastes are. But I just wanted to to show you how integral having a Thermomix is in our daily life. So rather than going out to buy chili flakes or even milled salt, we often just get the dried chilies, which are a whole lot cheaper, because we use whole chilies in Asian cooking anyway. But then we just blitz up the dried chilies, so we get our own chili flakes. That way, you end up with a massive amount for pretty much next to nothing. Just a word of advice though, when you are milling your own chili, your own dried chili, is what we found out last time. Just give it a little time for the powder to settle after you've milled it. I didn't, and I took the lid off and I breathed in a whole lot of chili, and it was very emotional in the kitchen for about half an hour afterwards. The other thing is just make sure that when you do take the lid off, turn it, hold the lid away from you, so you've got a bit of a barrier between you and the chili. But that's just some chili flakes that we've just blitzed up a while ago, and they're ready to use. If you wanted to take out the seeds, so it's not so hot, depending on how hot you like your chili, that's up to you. We tend to buy Himalayan rock salt, so it's a bit more versatile, because then we can mix it down to whatever coarse, degree of coarseness, that we want, whether we want fine or medium, whatever. So that's what we use. But you could use rock salt as well. So this is just now asking a teaspoon of dried chili flakes or the taste. This is a teaspoon here. I'm going to throw the whole lot in. As I said, this is an adults only dish. Or quite taste. A teaspoon of sea salt flakes. Again, just a bit of milled salt. And this time it's asking to put the measuring cup into the bowl, because we're going to be just turning this around a bit. So the recipe automatically sets it to reverse, so it doesn't chop up all those peanuts in there. And it's going to be going on speed 5 for 3 seconds, just to mix up all the nuts and the syrup. Okay, and now the recipe is asking for me to tip this out onto a prepared tray. So depending on how this goes, you can sit back and laugh about that. Now, even though that was on reverse, what it's done is actually it's crushed up some of the nuts, and you'll see that when I tip it out onto the tray, which is fine, because then that just helps cement everything together. But it's kept most of the peanuts intact, which is really, really good. So this is going onto a baking tray, and then this will be in the oven at 100 degrees for about 10 minutes. And then after that, it will be taken out, and then you just cool that off, and then you just break it into your different pieces.
Now, Matt, we'll put that in a minute. I've got 4 more minutes for my little dips to go.
Now, given the fact that I'm using roasted peanuts, I haven't actually thought about this until now. It says to cook for 10 minutes. I may not actually need to cook that for 10 minutes, because the nuts are already roasted anyway, but that's just...
Last time I remember that being a bit more liquidy. Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's probably different quality beer.
Ah, yeah.
Or maybe I didn't put in enough.
Don't know.
It might be in that more foam this time. That's okay.
That's okay.
Because it
We'll
won't
work
be,
with what we got.
won't be as chewy.
Either way, they'll have the flavour
Look,
there.
after a few beers, you're not really going to care anyway.
Okay.
But man, that is a perfect combination. Peanuts, chili, and beer. I mean, gosh, what else could you ask for, really?
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you. No worries. I'm looking forward to showing that to you a little bit later on. So
Okay.
go off to work.
He's got to go off to work. Now, I've got one more dish to show, and it's a really quick, easy one. And anyone who loves olives, I always buy my jars. And today I did say to Matt, please get me a jar of pitted olives. And he ended up getting the ones with the pips in it, because I feel like you get more for your buck with the pitted olives versus, and also when you've got children, it's a lot easier, a lot less messier, and it's very easy to quickly use and not much preparation required. So this is marinated olives. If you have not done this, do yourself a favor. It takes olives to the next level. I think from now on, because every food shop, we always buy olives. We love our condiments. We love serving it in dishes and alongside. Raven loves it as her anti-pasta lunches kind of thing with her pickles. So I'm definitely going to do this. And I did this for Christmas Day, and yeah, I'd love to try it with other flavour combinations, like, you know, instead of this one's got orange, do lemon, or do some lime ones, different herbs. So this is really good. So it's saying here, using a vegetable peeler, thinly slice your zest from the orange and like squeeze the juice of the lemon, the orange. Now I'm only doing half this recipe. So it's asking for 10 ounces. So I only want 5. And I love how it already changes it to imperial for you. You don't have to do that, especially when you're doing a recipe using ounces. Like just before, when I weighed out something, I manually edited it to imperial, if you haven't already tried that. So what I mean by that, and I'll show you once I've got that. So say if this recipe wasn't in ounces, or I wanted to weigh out for something else, if I just go home, obviously that bookmarks that recipe, go into your settings, because a lot of people, they learnt this when they first had their intro delivery, and then they've forgotten all about it. And they only think to use it within the guided cook, not if you're wanting to convert something from the internet or from a cookbook. So we just go systems of measurement. If we go imperial, it changes it over. And then if we go home, we go manually now to our scale. Anything I'm going to weigh out now is already in ounces. So I find that really good. What I'm going to do now is just change that back. So again, go into the settings. No, go into the settings and go into systems of measurement and go to metric, and then change it back, and we will. Oh, your peanuts are about to go in the oven, Matt.
Awesome. I'll go back in the oven now.
All right, just wait. My little buzzer's going to go off. Who's been using their new timer?
That is awesome. Love the timer.
So this is what I love about, you know, we've had, look, here it goes. It's telling me that my second timer's gone off for the oven. So Matt's going to go and take those out for me.
Yeah, I'm going to put the timer on mine.
Yeah, yeah. Can you put them on a tray? It'll be easier for you to slide on the other. Yeah. Okay. So just going to go out of that. So we've done the oil. We're going to add 3 cloves of garlic, which I forgot to do. So I'll quickly do that. So I'll probably do 1 and a bit. It's a bit hot.
Yeah.
It's quicker if I do it over here.
I almost dropped it.
I don't drop it.
No, it's fine. I'll see. Oh, that's pretty cool.
All right, so they do. All right, we might show everyone. Okay. No,
Right.
I have. All right. Oh, how did that get hot?
Is it spraying?
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to show you before we go any further. So these are the dips. They literally only cooked for in between 8 to 10 minutes. And then you'll remember I did my toasting my breadcrumbs. So what I'll do is I'll just put that on the top just for a bit of effect. And yeah. Right. So there we go. And there's our Reuben dips. Now I've added my garlic. I'm using my orange peel. Just put that in. Some thyme. I'll have to add the thyme later because I think I used up all my thyme. Unless Matt, are you still around?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you just quickly get me some thyme? I know, but I used. Oh, hang on. Yeah, there's some more.
Yeah.
I probably need a little bit more. It's not much. I can always serve it at the end, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yep. Dry my lid. Some chili flakes. Really? Do you have any extra chili flakes left?
No, in the jar, yeah.
Oh. Okay. Remember, you could opt that out if you got kids and you don't want any chili in the olives. Now we're going to place the simmering basket on top, as we do now with all recipes over. And that's basically going to like infuse and warmly cook it. And so it'll make the olives a little bit more tender and draw out all the oils. And then it also allows the flavours of what you've flavoured it with to go in. And then, so that's just infusing the oil first, and then we'll get the olives in to infuse. Right. Now, I'm not too sure if it asked for the orange juice, so I'm going to go back, because I think last time I didn't even put the orange juice in it. I just used the no, it doesn't tell you to use the orange. That's good. I thought because it told you to squeeze the orange juice, I thought it wanted the orange juice in the bowl to begin with. Now, Matt, just before you go, is there a cracker there that you could try one of these, the Reuben dip?
Absolutely.
I think, you know, because we made two, one for tomorrow, one for today.
Yeah.
I just had to hide the crackers.
Yeah.
Right, let's turn it over to Matt.
Okay. You talked about the recipe how it says to toast bread, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. So if, like, literally, if you're not gluten-free like us and you love your bread or your sourdoughs, especially if you're making your sourdough in your Thermomix, definitely make big chunks and do them in the oven so you've got them as serving.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, you're going to save some for other people?
Oh my goodness.
Wait. Yeah. What do you think of that?
That is sensational. Do you know what's even better is because I've got Scottish heritage and I'm a bloke, I like to go for bargain things. That pastrami that we found that we used today was on discount because it was like in our local deli they do like big sort of tubs of like discount meat and they do a half price. So the pastrami, I'm so glad we use pastrami rather than corn to silver side.
Really?
Oh, it's got so much flavour.
No, but is the dip good?
Oh, yeah, it's good. I won't dare say what I was going to say, but man, that is brilliant. That's
okay. So one thing
that'll stand out. I mean, that is better than your sweet potato and cashew dip.
Yeah, better than a sweet. So it is a point of difference what we want it to be. People will think about it, won't they?
It's definitely non-vegetarian.
Do you think people go, hey, I need the recipe for that?
I think they will.
Okay, I'm just going to go and eat it all. But
this is my lunch.
What I wanted to also highlight in regards to this, I am a huge lover of condiments and dips, especially as far as zero waste. And not only that is, you know, you can, especially with kids, they always want to eat out of house and home. It's a good way to fill them up and nourish them. You can add things to them that they wouldn't necessarily have. But also, I love dips because they don't only have that purpose, but you can use them for secondary things. So, for instance, you use it as spreads. With our other dips, we toss it through pasta.
Yeah.
You could easily toss. Do you think you could toss that through pasta?
You can say left.
No, but like, do you know what I mean? You could. I love dips because if we're not using it for a spread, if we're not using it with crackers and veggie sticks, we're going stir it through risotto.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So you know, really enhance and really get onto
you know what would be good if you had some of that left over. If there's any of that left over, you could make toasters like little jackals, and that would be brilliant. Like just
well, that's still bread. Like that's still like a sandwich. Yeah, I'm thinking of things that other or like arancini bowls. Yeah. Inside arancini bowls.
Inside arancini bowls, you're thinking the same thing.
What else?
If you've got a
like you could thin it down to a dressing.
Yeah, you could actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that'd be a good dressing. You could probably once you drizzle it on, you could probably drizzle it on
steak.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mashed potato. Oh no, roasted potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got that.
So we like to think outside the square, and I guess that's why we wanted to do our food debate channel. Is we both love cooking, as you can tell. We both like bouncing ideas off each other, and we are all into showing people outside the square and getting the most of the Thermomix, you know, and we've been using our Thermomix for the last 12 years, and we really wanted to actually help others kind of upskill their levels as far as using their Thermomix and become raving fans, really. Yeah. Like, you know, we're forever raving.
There's more to it than just making mushroom risotto and fruity sorbet.
Right, so now I'm going to add my olives. So it says 16 to 20. I'm doing half. So see how much we got here. That's enough. And then, so now we're cooking it again for 5 minutes with the olives. So we're wanting to warm up the olives, like I mentioned before, because it will release the natural oils of the olives and it will allow the juices and the flavour to go through for that. So that's our cook today. We've got our nuts. The nuts, how long have you got the timer?
Yeah, no, I've got a couple more minutes.
So it's literally got under 2 minutes, and we've made some cracker talk about, you know, snack ideas that are not only moreish and really yummy and a bit up there as far as gourmet, but we also wanted recipes that were easy and that you would probably have some of those pantry staples, or you've got the stuff left over for, you know, Christmas, so to speak. So thanks. Would you like to come and say any last words? So
maybe a happy new year and a happy and a safe new year for 2023.
Yeah,
and see you next year.
And we've got some ideas for our channel. Can we tell them one of the ideas that we've decided to do for our cook?
Let's not say we did. No, you can.
So we've decided to do a mystery box challenge, and that way we are going to really highlight how cooking can help upskill and change your life. So we're each going to give each other a box of ingredients, and there will be points on, you know, how many ingredients you use out of the box. You know, the most original, as far as, and like really showing you each, and hopefully we'll have both the cameras set up in time with our tech sorted by then, so that you can see us kind of really working our way, our mojo around cookie dough, and really giving insight on how you can actually, upskill your cookie dough skills and have fun at the same time. Yeah. And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah. I can't wait to see what you get from me. What's interesting, I think, as far as yours, you're more the one that's creative, think outside the square. Yeah. But I'd be the one who'd be relying heavily on cookie dough. Yeah. So, and I think that's going to be really good to show, like, for those people who can think outside the square. This is what you can do. But those people thinking, I've got this in my fridge or in my pantry, what can I do?
And you're a person who's systematic, like likes to follow recipes. Where I'm not that type of person. I might look at a recipe and go, below that, I've got an idea, I'm going to go for something else. Like you can see today, this was not, it was an adaptation of the recipe. But it also shows that we want to cater to both those styles of cooking. Some people are like that. Oh, there we go.
This is the panto cluster. So I want to leave that to cool for about an hour. And I'll come back and I'll break that up. Now I've already scraped the bowl, and my goodness, they are beautiful. Just the right amount of heat. Maybe some kids might be able to actually eat it after all, but now that's been cooked, hopefully the heat's just intensified. So I'm looking forward to getting stuff.
All right, so that's signing off. So be sure to subscribe to our channel. Not every video that we do will be streamed into our Thermomix Sustainable group. Some of those videos we want directly for the channel and for its purpose. Okay, bye.
Nice. See ya.